In this segment, Stephanie Miller and her guests cover some of the latest big stories from the world of politics. Here's Stephanie.
Nobel Prize-winning economist Paul Krugman published a column in the New York Times titled, "Why I Am Now Deeply Worried for America." He says, quote, "Watching the frenzy over President Biden's age, I am, for the first time, profoundly concerned about the nation's future. It now seems entirely possible that within the next year, American democracy could be irretrievably altered, and the final blow won't be the rise of political extremism. That rise certainly created the preconditions for disaster, but it has been part of the landscape for some time now. No, what may turn this menace into catastrophe is the way the hand-wringing over Biden's age has overshadowed the real stakes in the 2024 election. It reminds me, as it reminds everyone I know, of the 2016 furor over Hillary Clinton's email server, which was a minor issue that may well have wound up swinging the election to Donald Trump." Paul Krugman doesn't say it explicitly in his column, but he is complaining about his employer, the New York Times. Here's a graph of press coverage of President Biden's mental fitness over 3 days at the end of last week. 33 stories in the Washington Post, 30 stories in the New York Times. And here is a graph of press coverage of Donald Trump confusing Nikki Haley for Nancy Pelosi. Donald Trump said on Saturday that while he was president, he promised to violate that law, to violate that treaty, and he made that promise to the unnamed president of another country.
I came in, I made a speech, and I said, you got to pay up. They asked me that question. One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay. You got to pay your bills.
So the statement, "I would not protect you," describes a violation of American law. That treaty is American law. And then to say, "I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want," means Donald Trump would have encouraged Vladimir Putin in Russia to attack any NATO country that he wanted to attack and do whatever the hell he wanted to do. And this is what Vladimir Putin wants to do.
Sierra says it's brain gazi. As someone so accurately posted here on the Biden book, it's not a look back about how can we learn lessons to start building a 3-year. It's to start building a 3-year scandal that will be used to destroy the entire 2028 Democratic field with what did you know and when did you know it, fake outrage. MAGA will spin it up to Biden was out of it his whole presidency. His Dems covered it up. That's why COVID and inflation was so terrible, even though he had an objectively great presidency. And here we are, right? It's, who can kick Joe Biden in the balls more has become the Democratic primary, right?
And I love that the idea that that leads to, which is like, you had no, there was no choice. If Biden had if Biden had stayed in, well, of course, you would have had to have elected Donald Trump because of Biden being so out of it. And I'm sitting here going, I'm sorry, but Joe Biden in a coffin is a better president than Donald Trump. I would have voted for, Joe Biden's remaining DNA in a lab over Donald Trump. And anybody who did choose Donald Trump over Kamala Harris, they own this. They own what's going on right now. They own the chaos. They own the economic turmoil. They own the mistreatment of all these people.
Yeah, it's just, and there were so many factors. I'm just tired of it's Joe Biden's fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's blah, blah, blah. I mean, just on one subject, how the Gaza issue played. You retweeted from NBC breaking, the Trump administration is working on a plan to permanently relocate up to 1 million Palestinians from the Gaza Strip to Libya. And you said, if we send them to The Hague, we don't have to worry about the Supreme Court. Yeah, there's that. Mm-hmm. There's that to hope for. Yeah.
Especially if you immediately put him on, arrest him, put him on a plane, send him to The Hague and say, hey, you know what? The Hague has him now. We don't have any control.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't. I mean, and you wrote a piece, there's no America without birthright citizenship. I mean, this Supreme Court, I don't even know. I'm running out of names to call Thomas and Alito. Most of the court on one of the rulings was like no to fascism. Thomas and Alito were like, sure. It's cool. But just talk a little bit about your piece. I don't have time to read the whole thing, but I mean, it's the cornerstone of our country.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is, as I keep saying, we're a mongrel country. You know, we are made up of all of these different groups that came here, and yes, we did mistreat them when they first came, going back to the Irish and the Germans and whatever groups came in after the original Dutch and English. And putting aside the genocide of the indigenous people, which of course was awful, but just this idea that we are who we are as a country, this notion of America as a concept is about that we have all of these people coming in and trying to make their lives better, and that we actually are a place where they can do that, and we were supposed to in theory encourage it and want them to be here. It's and that the attack on, and that if somebody comes here and has children here, it's like, great, welcome, you're one of us. Isn't it awesome? Isn't it awesome that we have more Americans? Isn't that great?
Yep. So, meanwhile, you're from Louisiana. The head of FEMA said the agency is not ready for hurricane season, which starts June 1st after DOJ gutted the agency. Floridians take note. Well, not only has Trump not said anything about all the people dead in Kentucky, clearly they're, saying the gutting of the Weather Service didn't give people enough warning. I mean, consequences, right?
Right. And we're going to see more and more and more of this as it goes along. Like, you need government to function. You can't just strip everything away and think, I don't know, AI is going to take care of it, or whatever they're pretending is going to take the place of all of those, federal workers and the functions that they do.
Yeah.
Trump did his Springsteen, Oprah, Bono, whatever, dump on Truth Toilet last night. This morning, he's attacking Beyonce.
Yeah.
He's attacking Beyonce for saying she got paid $11 million, and it's and I'm like, dude, you haven't said a single word about Kentucky and Missouri.
Right. Yeah.
There's nothing on the White House website. There's nothing on Truth Social. There's nothing.
Yeah.
He has offered no sympathy to people there who are suffering.
Meanwhile, we talked about this. Moody's downgraded the credit rating of the U.S. for the first time since 1917, stripping the country of its last perfect credit rating. The move could rattle financial markets, push up interest rates, creating an extra financial burden for Americans already struggling with tariffs and inflation. That was the other thing over the weekend. He tells Walmart to eat the tariffs. You should eat the tariffs. I'm like, oh, did he just give up the whole game? Did he just blow up the whole game? I thought China's paying the tariffs. I thought American businesses and consumers don't pay the tariffs. But now he's, I mean... Yeah.
And good luck telling Walmart to do that,
Right.
Good luck with that, with that greedy family and company.
Yeah. I mean, it's just everywhere you look. It is... one more. Charlotte Clymer, our friend. Hey, Jake Tapper, is there any timeline for reporting on Trump's clear pattern of cognitive deterioration? I figured you'd be a great person to ask, given you've done so much research and reporting in this area of medicine. Well, suddenly everybody's a prostate cancer expert this morning as well, right?
Yeah. I love Don Jr. thinking that, I guess that even if Jill Biden were an oncologist, she would not be examining her husband.
Right.
I mean, it's just not something that you do. I mean, but that aside, they keep saying that like this is going to affect 2028. I think you mentioned something about that.
Yeah.
Like that 2020, all 2028 candidates are going to get asked about what did you know about Biden's cognitive decline, and it's like nobody's going to care. Please, nobody is going to care in 2028. We will be in such a pathetic state that no one will give a damn.